So today we are going to open up my one and only collector booster box of Final Fantasy. Basically got this at my pre-release event. Ended up winning some extra kind of cashback components. So all in, this pack cost me $602.72. There are ultimately 180 cards in this pack. So each card needs to be worth about $3.35, or each pack, if I can generate about $40, I've basically broken even. I was fortunate in the pre-release. I did pull a kind of standard VV, as well as the Ancient Copper Dragon. So I'm already about $200 up in terms of the total set of Final Fantasy, but I do not intend to get any more collector booster boxes. After this, I will go ahead and just do singles if I need any of those. Hopefully I pull the singles I want for the decks that I'm currently brewing. But this is my first attempt at this. I've been playing Magic since the Lord of the Rings set, but was curious about how it feels to actually open this live. So hopefully capture my excitement here, and then obviously down here, go ahead and show you everything we've got. So let's go ahead and do it. Slide that open, and let's start with, I guess we'll pull them all out. Let's go ahead and pile them up. Move that collector box out of the way here. All right, should we just kind of go in the order? All right, let's move pile 2 over to the side. I'll keep this there so they're at least in frame. We'll try to center everything. All right, here's the first one. My plan, I don't really know the actual trick to opening this the most exciting way, but I figure what I'll do is I'll open it up backwards and try not to spoil anything. And then what I kind of wanted to do from there, honestly, was just reveal them kind of top down. So let's move trash there. Okay. Here we go. First card is a foil Hill Gigas, which is great. I've actually got a Jund. Maybe I'll put them over there so you can still see them, right? Yeah, there. Building a Jund commander deck, so actually kind of giant theme. All right, next one. It's a foil Gungaga Reactor Town. Okay, not bad. Both of those were in my pre-release play kit. I actually went Jund in that too. And splashed a little bit of red for my removal. Rabanastri Royal City Land Town. Enters tapped. Okay. Next, we got the Coral Sword. Flash, when this enchantment enters, attached to target creature you control. That creature gains first strike until end of turn. Okay, pretty cheap, pretty classic. Not bad. All right. Eject. Okay. What else we got? All right, Ignis Sentia. Huge fan of Final Fantasy 15, so not upset about that pull by any means. Don't know how we're doing on the value, but we also have not hit the rares or the mythics. Torgal, Fine Hound, extended border, not bad. I pulled the other version in my pre-release foil, so I got 2 of those. Okay, and this, yep. So Fang, this is my 3rd Fang. I actually pulled 2 in my pre-release event. So yeah, so I actually managed to meld this thing. If you're looking for any advice in pre-release, if you go Golgari or Jund, I'm specifically trying to flip Ragnarok, I didn't lose anything. We just kept going over time. So it's a very grindy deck, at least in this set. So biggest thing to be aware of is just people with wide boards. So a lot of that red-blue, red-black, they just kept pinging me. We got a little island there. Saz Katzroy. So yeah, Final Fantasy 13. I played a lot of Final Fantasy 13. Not necessarily my favorite, but I'm a completionist. So definitely wanted to get all the achievements on the 360 version for that. Summon Ixion. It's a cool border. Ixion from Final Fantasy X. Probably butchering that name. I know my friend and I used to argue about that anyway. All right, next. Seymour Flux Extended Border. Nice. Seymour's such a pain in the butt in Final Fantasy. Just that whole character arc. Really kind of obnoxious. And here we've got... Ooh! Nice. I don't think it's a Surge foil, but it's a foil Terra Herald of Hope. Very nice from the Commander set. That is good. I don't know what each of these values are, but in post-edit, I'm going to try to put up the pricing. Ooh, a new adventure, Farseek. That is cool. That is super cool. Could always use a Farseek, and to have one in arguably my favorite video game franchise of all time. The only thing I'm really hoping Wizards does, since they're kind of on this Universes Beyond kick, would be Gears of War would be sick. Especially like just boosting up some of that Rakdos component. But yeah, outside of that, Final Fantasy takes the cake. And we have a foil Arden the Usurper. Okay. Honestly, I've not looked into Arden too much. Not particularly a character I'm excited about, but cool card nonetheless. I got a nice little wizard token and a bird token. So, not bad overall. I would say that Terra is definitely my coolest pull from that. All right. We are on to pack numero dos. So, what I would actually like to know is in the comment section, what pre-release did you go with? How did it fare? How did you do? Yeah, I drew on my first one, drew on my second one, my third. All right, let's go ahead and start with pack number 2. Adventurer's Airship, Final Fantasy 1. Don't mind if I do. All right. Scorpion Sentinel. Got some robots. Insomnia, Crown City. Classic Orzhov. All right. Barrett Wallace, Final Fantasy 7. Very cool. All right. Let's you kind of go back to Boros. Omega, Heartless Evolution. Legendary Artifact Creature Robot. I've not researched too much of it. Mana cost is a bit big. I tend to avoid those until I really get deep into my brewing. But cool. Got the side quest. That's pretty fun, isn't it? Okay. What else we got? Cloud of Darkness. Okay. Didn't pull this in pre-release, but it probably would have been helpful, at least from a removal standpoint. It is a bit costly, though, isn't it? All right. Summoned Fat Chocobo, foil extended. I like it. Now, I keep seeing people open up their packs, and they're getting a ton of Fat Chocobos. So if that's the only Fat Chocobo I get, I'll be pretty stoked. We got ourselves a little island there. Here, Midgar, City of Mako. Okay, more Final Fantasy VII. Obviously, Hildebrand Manderville. Huh. I actually wasn't really aware that there was an adventure creature. I thought it was just the Adventure Lands. That's good. All right, Tifa Lockhart. Not bad. It's not any Surge foil, but it is the I don't know, that border's so sick. Like, it's just so clean. Yeah, sorry, I'm admiring a little bit too much. This is my all right. Venat, Heart of Hydaelyn. A little bit of mono white action. And we've got Baron Rivalry, Deadly Dispute. Hey, again, these arts are so sick. And I'm sorry if I'm not putting these in the center. I will do my best to get better about that. Like I said, first time. Okay. A Realm Reborn. Not angry about that at all. Not at all. Actually pulled the regular version in my pre-release. So I've got 2 of those. And that's the foil. And here's the treasure and the hero. So I don't know how well we did in that pack. I know the Hero Reborn's, Realm Reborn rather, is pretty good. The rest kind of seem a little bit situational, to be honest. Let's see. Maybe I'll throw those like they do in the command zone. Okay. All right. Pack number 3. Let's go. Summon GF Ifrit. Yes. Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah, that started it all for me. I think I was probably 8 years old, actually, when I played that, and instantly gravitated towards Squall. And I remember that first cavern of Ifrit. I had never seen anything quite like that, especially because Ocarina of Time, Zelda, that was the game that I was playing. So this seemed like a really cool segue into the video game world. All right, Sephiroth's Intervention. We have Grahatia. You know, Final Fantasy 14, I honestly never played it. I guess that's the online one, right? Circle of Power. Okay. Yeah. Summon Esper Rama. Which one was that? Final Fantasy 5, 6. Final Fantasy 6. I never played that one. Ultimecia. Yes, I was actually really hoping to get this one. Just again, from Final Fantasy. Anything Final Fantasy 8, top of my heart. Love it. Esperanto. Okay, 2. But this one is a little bit cooler looking. Okay. Here, planes. All right, Esper Terra. Terra, Magical Adept. Okay. I bet I got the 5-color commander. If I want to build an Oops all Final Fantasy, I could do that. Let's see, Yuffie, Materia Hunter. Cool little extended border art there. All right. Summon Titan. Dang, yes, this is one that I was hoping to get for my Beantown Bullies. Seems a little bit weird to be milling other folks, but I've got ways to get this thing back before it exiles and take advantage of some of those other triggers. This one's obviously Cecil Dark Knight, one of the first ones that they revealed from the Final Fantasy set, so feels pretty apropos for that. It's pretty classic good, like, oh, yes. Yes, that is so sick. That is so sick. You know, I actually have an Ishin commander deck that I've been brewing, but I wanted it to be inspired by Mulan, so I was curious if this one fits. I don't know. I could probably make that flavor work. But yeah, either way, so gorgeous, so sweet. Very excited about that pull. And lastly, Tella the Great Sage from Final Fantasy IV with a bird token. Okay. All right. So we're going into pack number 4. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Pack number 4. Here we go. We have a Gabu Gardener. Mana Dork. I don't know why this is the first time I've ever seen that. From all my searching the set. Scribefall and whatnot. Ice Flan. Classic. Pain in the ass from the games. Especially when you just have fun smacking it with Tidus and Waka. Speaking of, it's almost like I knew that was going to happen. Blitzball Shot. Again, Final Fantasy X, another one that I played a lot. Never managed to max out the sphere grid. I was more into getting all the weapons, but I had a friend and my brother actually did max out the whole thing, which is quite impressive. They said it was like a 2 out of 10, would not recommend, but other people like to do it. All right, Kina Q Gourmet. This is obviously pretty cool. SideQuest play Blitzball. Speaking of the ultimate weapons from Final Fantasy X. Man, I'm really kind of calling him before. Zach Fair, not bad. All right, very cool character. I know he's a fan favorite. Stolen Uniform. Nice. Man, this art. It's hard to not get enamored by it. They really did a good job with it. Been watching a lot of gameplay. And yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying this set. You know, I know a lot of people like, I have no idea what Final Fantasy is, but it's like, you know, not to say you're missing out, but it's there's a nostalgic component, but also it's just the art, the story, the characters. Mog, Moogle Warrior, cute, classic. Yep. All right, something cool there. All right, Alice, Lavalier, and then is this Clive? It is. Clive's Ifrit Dominant. Very cool. This is my brother's favorite. He's been on a Final Fantasy 16 kick. Might have to gift him that one. Let's see. Throne of the Vestige. Lightning Bolt. Hey, never hurts to have another Lightning Bolt, right? Especially with that cool art. All right, what do we got? Summon Bahamut. Not mad about that at all. Bahamut is a monster. It's a lot of mana. But I don't know. There's a lot of decks that can recur this thing for cheap. All right. And then a copy. Not bad. I don't know where we're at in terms of the tally of if I'm making my money back, but honestly, to me, it's kind of worth it. You know, I'm not even halfway through yet. What are we on pack? Maybe this is pack 4. Yeah, this is pack 1, 2. Yeah, pack 4. Okay. So yeah, I'm already having fun. Like a lot of fun. More fun than any other set. I did some Aether Drift and was not having fun with that. The only thing Aether Drift did was inspired me to make 2 types of decks. One being centered around the robots, the Azorius robots, specifically for a kind of a, not an iRobot, but more of like a Wall-E vibe. Like I wanted it to be all robots and any type of like semblance to humans just be kind of like not good, like not shed them in a good light. So I'm playing around with that one. Instant ramen. We've got instant ramen, folks. Would not be a Final Fantasy set or Japanese RPG without instant ramen. Okay. And then Aetherjith also gave me the idea of Vanellope von Schweet for my Wreck-It Ralph deck, which is helmed by the Beantown Bullies. So brewing some fun little synergies there. Black Waltz number 3, very cool. Yeah, that's sweet. Classic. Okay, what we got? Freya, jump. The jump ability is sick. And yeah, and actually my favorite character who does the jump. Ooh, Summoned Fenrir. Not bad. This is pretty cool. As far as the enchantment creature sagas, I think this one's pretty sick, right? Like you get the ramp, you get the counters, and then yeah, classic green big guy, right? Just draw cards like a greater good at the end, except you don't even sacrifice it. We got a little swamp. Hope Ethstein. I know a lot of hype around him. Speaking of Azorius, right? A lot of people they like seeing these, the mill and the life game. I'm sure we'll encounter him in the field. Let's see, Kate Sith. I know he's a fan favorite. Oh, double Hope Ethstein. No surge foils yet, but again, these are gorgeous nonetheless. All right, another Arden. We already have the cooler version of Arden. Again, not particularly drawn to him. And then the Imperial City of Archimedes, Wall of Omens. Okay, a little classic kind of cantrip in white there. And let's see, let's hope for a big one. Go-Go, Master of Mimicry. All aboard the hype train for Go-Go. Not the surge foil, right? I don't think so, no. But happy with it nonetheless. Okay, that's a good pull. We're getting some good ones. All right, pack number 5. I'm going a little bit slow here, but you know what? We'll go $1 a minute, right? So I don't even know what that is. 600 minutes? It is crazy expensive. And I don't know how the values will hold up, but, I don't know. We'll see. I think after Final Fantasy, Guadasalam, spent a lot of time in Guadasalam. Always kind of left me uneasy as a kid. I like this purgatory feeling, which, I don't know. If you're introspective at all, kind of existential crisis moment, you're not alone. Yeah, so what I was saying with the Final Fantasy and then followed up by Marvel and Avatar Last Airbender, I mean, they really have a hell of a lineup. Marlboro, I think it's going to bring a lot of people in. I think the fears of, is it going to turn Magic into, kind of just this hodgepodge of Fortnite type style? It might. But to be honest, Lord of the Rings is what brought me in. I'd never really played Magic. I'd done a little bit of Pokemon collecting as a kid until my brother left I had the entire set of the original 150, and he left it out in the rain in the binder. And he now since collects Pokemon. So I told him whenever he sells, he owes me at least 30% of whatever the take is on it. So you got to make me whole, man. But yeah, I just think it is going to pull in a lot of people. And I fell in love with Magic, like to a point where that's so sick. Is that the Surge Foil? Ooh, Vanilla Surge Foil. Look at that. Something wants me to keep going. Golgari. Meld some stuff. Smash some face. That one is pretty sweet. You know what? I actually am I'm gonna sleeve that one. All right, let's just sleeve it real quick, just so it's not the side of it. Okay, sleeve that in there. Just so I don't. Ooh, yeah, I'm kind of not doing a good job of that. All right, at least got that one. All right, back to where we were. Mountain. Moogle's Valor. Strago and Realm. Squall, Seed Mercenary. Not the version I want, but my boy, Squall. I'm very stoic by nature. Kind of lone wolf it. A little bit of sad boy anthem, to be honest, but Squall is definitely going in a deck, for sure. He is just too Nostalgia for me. Yuna, Grand Summoner. Pretty cool. Cool. I feel like building summons, like a oops all summons is going to be, oh, another squall. Sick. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I was pretty excited about this one. And I think the art is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Very iconic. Look at that. See? I'm talking about Sad Boy Anthem. I'm not even kidding. I got a scar on my face, man. I'm so freaking sad. I'm going to draw some mana and confuse everybody. The tutorial's not going to be easy. And then Ishgard, the Holy Sea. My first adventure town. Very cool. And then a knight. Okay. So, value of that? I'm not sure. Again, it's not always all about the value. But definitely hit both squalls. And that's what I wanted. So, okay. We are halfway through. Well, this is the 6-pack. So after this, we will be at the 6th version. All right, let's go ahead. Heck dies. Good little thing in the pre-release. Kept having folks discard hands. Blazing Bomb. Again, another pain in the ass. Those things, especially in Final Fantasy X, those things, bane of my existence as a kid. So again, I would just sit on the, I forget what that first little training area is, but we just sit there and level up. The problem with Final Fantasy games is you can kind of sit and farm some experience, but you pretty much always have to just keep doing that. It is just a grindy game. Tidus, Blitzball Stone, foil. Very cool. Tidus is sick. Kind of look like Tidus, right? Although, playing Blitzball, another side quest. Playing Blitzball would be super sick. And actually, if that was a game all by itself, Zidane, Tantalus Thief, foil. Blitzball was actually pretty fun. That was a pretty sick side game. The Waste. It's cool. It's like Game of Thrones vibes, right? Is that kind of... people who've played Final Fantasy 16, is that kind of the deal? Is it like got that Game of Thronesy component to it? Summon Knights of the Round. Well, we are churning through some of these summons, which is pretty cool. At least get to kind of see. Minwu, White Mage, Final Fantasy 2. I have a feeling the art wasn't that spectacular. A little bit more pixelated. Hey, there we go. Now, if it was Surge Foil, I'd be losing my mind right now. But this is what I wanted. Look at that. See? Sad Boy Anthem. Like I said before, they're just kind of sad, but their eyes, man, tell you a secret. They've seen some shit. Although, that whole school they go to, the Seeds kind of are, like, seriously mercenaries. It's like teenagers that, like, kill each other to just graduate. Kind of Hunger Games-esque. All right. Ishtai. Benedicta Harmon from Final Fantasy... was that 16? Yeah. And Buster Sword. Let's freaking get it. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Another sad boy anthem. Look at him. He's like, I'm so sad. Sephiroth is such a pain in my ass. Buster Sword. That's sick. Not Surge, but it is foil. And that art is 2am. I'm not mad with these pulls at all. Like, I'm actually getting a lot of the cool things I want. Obviously, if I pull that chocobo, traveling chocobo, really kind of any kind, it seems like that's the hype train for sure. Let's go ahead and clear some of that off. All right. Let's go. Pack number 7. Town Greeter. Yep, that's definitely going in my mill deck. Let's go ahead and make a pile there. All right. We've got Magitech Infantry. Yep, keep them robots going. Be good if you can get those things cooking. Maybe some standard play. I'm not sure. I don't play too much standard. I was really addicted to Arena. Taught me a lot, learned a lot. But found it was pretty much all I ever did whenever I had any semblance of boredom. So I pretty much stick to pre-releases because I like that energy. I like that there's beginners and those things are not staying put. And then obviously Commander, because I like brewing and I like storytelling. I like trying to find other stories that I pull inspiration from when I build Commander decks, so that when I sit down at the table, I don't know, it just kind of brings a smile to people's faces. And also I find that if I build them to be a little bit of a higher power level, people get a little bit less mad when it's a 7 Dwarfs theme and I'm smashing your face with not Garnet, but a combination of 7 Dwarves and Magda. They're like, that's a hidden commander. I'm like, you're damn right, because Dwarf Tribal is a hard one to pull. Summon Primal Garuda. Very cool. That art. So sick. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, Plains. Okay. I don't know why I paused on that for so long, as if you hadn't seen a Plains before, but Dion, Bahamut's Dominant. Got a little foil version there. Not bad. And Tataru Taru. It's pretty cute. Speaking of dwarf, it is in white, and I went Gruul dwarves, so make it extra hard for myself in that deck. Rejoin the fight. There we go. That's pretty good. Well, let's see. Mill 3 cards, and starting with the next opponent in turn order, each opponent chooses a creature card in your graveyard that has been chosen. Return each card chosen this way to the battlefield under your control. Little kind of chaosy. Another Buster Sword. Cha-ching! Not foil, but hey, something to trade with, right? So not even mad. I should probably do this one as well, right? Actually, we'll put it here for right now, and we'll see what is these last two. The Shadow Lord, Gix, Yawgmoth's Praetor. I have a feeling this one might be valuable. I know Gix is pretty cool, pretty popular, a little fun. I don't know. Maybe he causes people to kind of shy away from him. I'm not sure. Let's see. And the Masamune. Look, a Buster Sword and the Masamune. Tell me that's not apropos. Final Fantasy VII fans, are you eating your heart out right now? Because I would be. Oh, wait. I am. All right, now I'm just being a jerk. But no, very excited about it. Very excited indeed. I'm just working with that. Okay. Let's see. Down to the last 3. Okay. Adventures in Life Gain. White Orosite. Great art. Love that art. Undercity Dire Rat. Rat Tail. Yeah, rats. Classic. You know what? Anytime I see a rat, you know what I actually think about game-wise? Is Oblivion and the Elder Scrolls. Just that initial dungeon where you just learn that the tutorial is basically kicking the rat's asses. Shinatoto, Tactician Magician. Pretty cute, pretty fun. Another dwarf. Red blue dwarf. X Death. Void Warlock. Pulled this in my pre-release. Didn't do as well. You know what? The gaining 3 life actually did come handy. I think at least once, maybe twice. I think I recurred it actually. Stolen Uniform. We had one of those already. Here we've got Torgal. See, this is the one I pulled in the pre-release. So now I've got 3 of those. So if anyone's wanting a Torgal, I guess just hit me up. Forest. What else we got? Stiltskin. Moogle Merchant. Resident Summon. Summon GF Cerberus. It's pretty cool. Cool art. A little fantastical. Transpose. And this is Dion, right? Is that what it is? Yep. Not the foil version. It's fine. Okay. And another Lightning Bolt. Foil this time. Pretty beautiful. And last card of this pack. Hey, Cypher, my boy. This was actually my promo card in my pre-release pack. But yeah, so Cypher is he's got the opposite Scar to Squall. So they actually cut each other's faces up. Squall went the sad boy anthem route. Cypher went the I'm a badass route, but not really. So yeah, the juxtaposition was quite nice, and I quite liked it. Rather enjoyed it. And then a little holographic wizard. Okay, so I'm doing good on the Final Fantasy VIII, which is definitely, again, my favorite Final Fantasy game. Oh, you know what they say, right? The harder the pack is to open, the better the card inside, right? Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty hard. The last time I had a pack that was that hard to open was in Ravnica Remastered, and it had 2 of the Shocklands in it. So let's see if I luck out. Gigantitoad. Froggy. Resentful Revelation. It's got a flashback. Much like in the game. Just keep flashing back to those scenes. Sometimes that gets old. Magic Dampener. That's funny because everything else with Fang on it is Golgari pushed, but random encounter, yes. Those songs. The worst thing about random encounters is when you like don't want to get in a fight and then they show up, right? And then not only that, but because they're random, then you they also like, or when you get ambushed. So you not only did you not want to fight, you were low on life, and then they ambush you. So now they all have effectively haste, and they just beat the shit out of you. Prompto. Hey, looks like me. All right. Except my head's always down, so you're just seeing like my receding hairline. Summon Shiva. Shiva is she's a cutie, right? Especially when you're a young boy, you're just like, oh, Shiva. All right, Swamp. Yeah. Genova, nice. Genova is cool. It's just a cool. Well, first of all, alien creature type, right? Like, I feel like that's going to be relevant. Mutant's obviously going to be relevant with the Spider-Man component. Anything Marvel, Secret Layers, that stuff. Zandakin. Yes, Zandakin. Classic. Classic Final Fantasy X. When the game begins. Waka, Devoted Guardian. All right, so that's from the Commander set, right? And here we go. Golbez, Crystal Collector. Crystal Collector. I've only pulled the white one so far of the crystals in my pre-release. Memories of Nibelheim, Stroke of Midnight. Little removal spell, beautiful art, foil, Galleon Beast, Werewolf Beast, Vincent Valentine. Very cool. What is Vincent Valentine from? Isn't that from a movie? Like, I feel like it's a Adam Sandler movie. Yeah, I could be wrong. All right. Oh, another pack. So I guess, I don't know. I'm not sure what the value's in there, but that pack was indeed difficult to open. But nothing like double Buster Sword. Was that Buster Sword in the same pack? No. There's one right after another, right? Yeah. So I'm going to have to rewatch that and see. Post-production. Black Mage's Rod. Say that 6 times fast and try not to laugh and sound dirty, right? And then you get to select your job after that too. Dreams of Laguna. So this one's cool. This is like see that flashback thing. Again, there was parts of Final Fantasy VIII where they would just keep flashing back to this. And in the beginning, I'm kind of like, especially as a young kid, I'm like, why? I don't care about these people. Who are they? And then you learn that they're actually quite interesting and integral to the story. But I think I started Final Fantasy VIII when I was 8, and I don't think I completed it until at least freshman year of high school, in terms of actually beating it. So I remember just, kind of weren't old enough. Like, you lost interest, at least I did, and then would kind of just get stuck on certain elements of it. Cloud of Darkness. Okay, we're starting to see some of the repeats now, which kind of sucks, but let's see. Eden, Seat of the Sanctum. No, Landtown. Man. Another Vanille. Cheerful to See. Well, I definitely have some of those. Only one Surge foil so far. Kind of annoying, but I don't know. Again, pretty happy with it overall. Hey, there you go. Fire Crystal. Red spells cost 1 less to cast. Not bad in mono red. Trying to ramp. Creatures you control have haste. Also not bad. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Yep, this is pretty on the nose as far as red goes. And I do kind of consider myself a red mage. I really like to splash red, or at least have it as a main color in almost every deck I brew, actually. And Snort, my first Snort of the set. I know I've seen a lot of people pull a ton of Snorts. All right. Balthier and Fran, little human rabbits. Team up with some Bloomborough, maybe. Okay, getting close there. Arden. Okay, I've got like almost every version of Arden now, so that's good if you're an Arden fan. Emmett Selk, Position Crick, son of Yawgmoth. I played against the Crick quite a bit. Don't really like being on the other side of that table, but hey, not bad to have that. And I know Emmett Selk tends to get a lot of attention just as a character anyway. So this looks like Surge Foil. Jill, Shiva's Dominant. Hey, there you go. Ask and you shall receive. Made a comment about the Surge foil, and then she showed up. Okay. All right, we are down to the last pack, folks. The last pack. This one. This one's going to have the chocobo in it. Gonna have the chocobo in it. For sure, right? Because why not? Like, why would we not just have the chocobo in the last pack? So that'd be fun, right? And then, yeah, then you can see some real excitement. And it might be worth sticking into the end of this. I don't know. All right, we'll save the last pack here. You know what? Maybe we'll flash them all out. Frisch's Wandering. Yeah, little land tutor. Haste Magic foil. Not bad. With their little Sad Boy Anthem gang. Dark Knight's Great Sword. Okay. Rita's Return. I don't know, a little costly in the pre-release. I had it in my deck and never really found its way into play. Poo Poo UFO. Yeah, seems about right. Poo Poo on UFOs. Okay, Ash, Princess of Dalmasca. All right. Secret Rendezvous. All right. A little bit of Yuffie art, so that's cool. I know there's 4 of them, right? 4 versions. Then we have an island. Very anticlimactic. Okay. All right, we're down to the last 1, 2. Okay, let's just keep going. Summoner's Grimoire. Job select. The card is enchanted card. It enters tapped and attacking. Interesting. I'll have to look into that one a little bit more. All right. Hey, another cipher. Okay, so I'm up to 3 ciphers in all in. All right, the last ones. Oop, I see something. Whatever. You guys kind of see that. All right, the next blue Adventure Town. This is a dragon on the back. I know dragons are pretty popular archetype. Xenos Galvus. Kind of those -2 counter type deals. Let's see. Golbez, Clad in Darkness. Sir Conrad the Grim. Man, I'm really getting the mono black kind of staples here. Sir Conrad the Grim. Not bad. I like it. All right, we'll keep it right here on top. All right, and then the last card. Something big, right? Chocobo? Is that what we think? 1, 2, and 3. And it's just a summon Leviathan. So not the best one to end on in terms of hype train, but we did get 2 Buster Swords. That's pretty hype. 2 Buster Swords. I'm not mad about that. We also got a lot of really cool mono black staples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and then I'm going to recap it and just see see what my overall thoughts are on. As you can imagine, this is a recap, so I'm recording this about a week after the actual pack opening. Wanted to see what happened during the pre-release pricing. So everything you saw on screen was during the week of June 6th through the 12th. So I'll dive into some of the math there. But what you're seeing now is June 19th, 2025. So about a week out from recording that. Obviously, to recap, super excited mostly about those back-to-back Buster Swords, right? That was pretty cool. We also got Vincent, Jill, Tara, the Ishin, Summon Bahamut, and then Vanille actually ended up shooting up, which was quite surprising. I was curious as to why she was so low. But ultimately, let's break down the math first, then I'll give you some more kind of my nuanced thoughts about the set in general, as well as what's happening with the pricing. So everything in recording, basically, if I added up all of what the cards were worth at that week of June 6th through the 12th, is about $1,233.11 is what it had estimated at. Now, obviously, you can imagine a week after that, we saw some serious fluctuation. When everything went down, I actually looked like I was losing money pretty prominently. Which again, it wasn't about that. I was just curious about how everything would fall as the actual release weekend took place. But as of today, I'm at about $1,232.87. So about $1 less from pre-release weekend to now. Biggest thing that's changed is there were some cards. Obviously, a lot of that pricing was really fixated on like a handful of cards, which you saw in the initial edit for the opening. But
prices have kind of spread out among a wider array of cards. So that's been cool to see. So ultimately, cards that I kind of slept on or people weren't really thinking about are obviously now becoming more popular. I think the demand is still ridiculously high, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Total, as far as what I have invested in Final Fantasy all in, there was the one pre-release that I attended, and then the one collector booster box that I had gotten as well. So between those two products, it was $651.45 is ultimately the amount of money that I put into the Final Fantasy set. Um, and where I'm sitting at currently today, $1,424.89. A lot of that extra boost came from in the pre-release. I got the Ancient Copper Dragon through the ages, and then I also got just kind of a regular Vivi. So that has really helped boost that up. But all in, I'm up about 118.73%. So I've certainly doubled the money in that time. Now, math aside, I think it was a really cool set. So last night went and played Commander. Everyone had kind of brought some new Final Fantasy tech to the table. One, we played against a upgraded Terra, and that thing slaps. Like, it did not help that that thing just kept recurring. I would say if you see Terra, the biggest downside, honestly, is that you can't just lightning bolt her because she'll just come back. Like the rate at which cards are milling and being recurred was crazy. So it was fun. It was like a nice spin on old cards mixed with some of the new, and just seeing how that bolsters up some of the older strategies and kind of gives them a fresh paint job, if you will. So I've had a lot of fun playing it. I think even the pre-release, to be honest, felt a little lackluster compared to like a Tarkir. It's very niche. A lot of it was naturally grindy. It seemed like you wanted to go more of a spell slinger route with it, but you're kind of just beholden to whatever you pull in the pre-release. Are there a bunch of new cards? I think we got a lot of really awesome niche cards in the set overall that are going to speak to some people and absolutely just fall short on others. I do think the Magic community as a whole, from my anecdotal experience, kind of just what I'm seeing online and in person, I think people are really sleeping on how popular that Final Fantasy franchise is. And so I think you're going to see a tremendous amount of new players brought into the fold. Um, and what I'm noticing about that is when more new players come in. So when I first started collecting, for example, I I just really like tree folk. I think that was like something that was super cool. And so I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do it from a collector standpoint because I didn't quite know if I wanted to play it or collect it or a combination. So I basically said, let me buy every single tree folk that exists, just one copy of it. And I did that. That was like within a month of um, playing Magic. I was like, let me just do that and just make that part of my collection. Uh, and then once the Tarkir Dragonstorm set came out, that gave a lot of boost to things with big defense, right? I forget the commander's name, but it was the Abzan one. Uh, that boosted the value of like so many of the different tree folk cards. So it's funny because the things that I'm just naturally gravitated towards or had interest in from a design or just from the deck I was trying to build, like the more people that get in, the higher the demand for those cards. And I think it's going to be good for everybody all across. I think if your entry point is Final Fantasy, probably maybe will leave a sour taste in your mouth. But I think where Magic has that unique advantage, and I'm not the first to be spouting this, but like my brother plays Pokemon, and just to hear like the percentage of people that collect Pokemon for purely the financial value, if you will, but don't even know how to play it, let alone like I don't even think my brother could explain the rules, to be honest. Whereas the value for Magic seems to be derived from the cards that actually slap when you play them against the table. And then the more that your cards synchronize with each other, the better they get. Obviously, you can go for the big commander staples, but what I've found is if you find a theme and you really just stick to it, more cards keep getting printed, and the deeper you dive, it really comes down to synergy as opposed to the big cards. So I think the surge foils, like those Buster swords, like they're just going to draw in a lot of people because there's really famous, popular characters on those. Um, but yeah, I think overall, I think the set is great. I am a little bit sad to see like the demand being down because I certainly would have bought more, especially after just seeing the results. But then obviously, like pulling those cards again and just getting to relive those Final Fantasy characters was something really cool and special for me. So um, I'd say I haven't really felt that way about a set. Like the nostalgia hit really hard for me, I'm about to be 35. So I'm right in the cusp of like Final Fantasy was a huge part of my youth, especially like middle school, high school era. But Lord of the Rings definitely had that same vibe, and I think Lord of the Rings pulled in a lot of people. I don't know how many people stayed, but then I look at things like obviously the Assassin's Creed set was a bit of a miss, mostly because it seemed like the way that they had just kind of shipped that, it had less cards, higher price tags. But the Fallout ones, I mean, those collector boosters are bonkers, right? So there is something with these different IPs that they're doing. I hear everyone talking about how bringing in Universes Beyond is going to tarnish or ruin what Magic is, and I think for some, yeah, but I think it will be short-lived. I think attention spans of people are uh, next to nothing, really. But for folks like me that get really passionate and kind of obsessive about things that I'm interested in, I've invested a lot of just energy and time into learning the rules of Magic, educating myself on the lore, starting to learn the synchronization, like, and just feeling that trajectory. Like, yeah, going tribal at first, like when you're first building decks, tribal seems to make the most sense. And then I look at things like discard or mill, and I'm like, why would you ever want to do that? But then starting realizing that that's some of the most fun you can have in Magic, right? So I think, I don't know, what I would urge as far as the actual opening of the set, if you can get your hands on some of this stuff, certainly for I think like $800+ I'm seeing now. I mean, based on what I'm seeing, like you're probably going to find some value. Will you make all the money back? I don't know. Time will tell as time keeps going. But I'd say absolutely, if you can find one of these products for 700, less than that, I would absolutely snag one, even if you just hold tight on it. But opening it was really fun. Um, so yeah, I don't know exactly what this is going to happen. This is my first shot at ever having any recording or opening uh, packs online or talking about Magic. So this is me just kind of riffing now. See how this shows up in the edit. But thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you soon.